Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, authorities are ramping up precautions inside Tasmania's quarantine hotels, with a new regime strongly encouraging every guest be tested. It comes as an isolating traveller remains in hospital after becoming the state's first coronavirus case in more than 2 months.
Stuck in 2 weeks of limbo.
This week's definitely going slower than last. I just kind of want to get out now.
Speaking from the balcony of her hotel room, for Alice, most days in quarantine are the same, but this morning was different.
We've just got a little letter just saying that we've had a confirmed case and that they recommend that you have a test.
That case is a young Tasmanian woman recently returned from Victoria. She's now in the Royal Hobart Hospital in a stable condition. It's our first COVID case in more than 2 months. Authorities say she wasn't infectious when on her flight and no community close contacts have been identified.
The fact that this person was picked up in quarantine indicates that our quarantine hotel system is working.
From tomorrow, testing will ramp up at all quarantine sites, with guests strongly urged to undergo tests on day 5 and 12 of their stays.
We expect all people to agree to have a test. We expect that the uptake will be very high.
They had one earlier. They've got nurses walking around doing testing for anyone who wants it.
The latest case adds more uncertainty to the state's border situation. Businesses like the Richmond Arms Hotel need tourists. On the flip side, they don't want another shutdown closing the door to locals. Expectations are on the government to strike the balance.
Hopefully they get it right. It's really important they do get it right because we don't need more infections in the state, but we still need to keep our businesses operating.
The Premier will give a border update this Friday.
It's not necessarily about what's occurring here, and we don't have community transmission. It's what's happening on the other side of the fence.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A horror highway smash near Elizabethtown has claimed the life of a 28-year-old woman. Crash investigators spent the night examining the scene to try to determine what caused the tragedy.
Carnage on the Bass Highway.
It was very tragic.
Crews were called to the scene just before 8 o'clock last night to find the mangled wreckage. Police say a Ford Festiva crossed onto the wrong side of the road, colliding with a ute before flipping onto its roof.
The Festiva is severely damaged, as was the LDV, but the Festiva being a smaller vehicle sustained severe damage and does appear to have ended up on its roof.
Tragically, a 28-year-old Blackstone Heights woman was found dead inside. A 42-year-old man and a 35-year-old woman who were in the ute survived the smash, escaping with only minor injuries. They were taken to Launceston General Hospital in a stable condition. Police say crashes like this take a major toll on first responders.
It has a severe and long-lasting emotional impact on everyone who attends a scene like this. We're particularly appreciative of the volunteer emergency services who routinely go to these calls without any pay. They do it for the love of their community.
The Bass Highway was closed for several hours as forensic officers tried to piece together what caused this horror crash.
Our crash scene investigators will investigate all possible contributors to the crash, including road conditions, weather conditions, the condition of the vehicles involved, and of course drugs and alcohol will also be investigated as a possible factor.
Anyone who saw the vehicles travelling on the highway in the lead up to the crash or has dashcam footage is urged to contact police. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
In breaking news now, emergency crews are on the scene of a serious 2-vehicle crash at Brighton. Tea Tree Road remains blocked, with traffic being diverted. A rescue helicopter has been dispatched to the scene. Drivers are asked to avoid the area. The long-promised delivery of 2 new Spirit of Tasmania vessels is facing yet another setback. The government's been forced to scrap its latest deal with European shipbuilders, now turning to Australian shores to get the plan back on track.
A multi-million-dollar replacement, not exactly smooth sailing. TT Line facing yet another headache with the delivery of 2 new Spirit of Tasmania ferries, today pulling the pin on its European shipbuilders.
We're making an Australian decision today, and we're making a Tasmanian decision because, of course, as we know, we're in very different circumstances to what we were only 6 months ago.
Originally promising to have the vessels on the water by 2023. But after setbacks with German and then Finnish shipyards and a global pandemic, now a local build could be on the table.
There is a spectrum of possibilities, the first and most extreme one being that there is an international purchase. At the other end, the opportunity for a fully Australian purchase.
It's a ship-specific route. It's one of the most harshest routes in the world, and we need to make sure that the ships are fit for purpose.
A specialist task force will be established, spending the rest of the year seeing if Australia has the capability to deliver the 200-metre long vessels.
The reality is the reason that we looked at international builds is because that's where boats are built now. The government is clearly trying to save money by kicking this contract down the line, and it is going to cost us more in the long run.
The state is no worse off. We still have the option that we had prior to today, but we're going to pause, reflect on the current circumstances, listen to experts.
And while plans for new ships hit rough seas, the new port in Victoria still has the green light.
The move to Geelong is going ahead. We're really looking forward to that. It's an exciting development for the company.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
There's a push for more remote area firefighters to join the Tasmanian fleet ahead of the summer bushfire season. Expressions of interest have opened today for volunteer firefighters to put their hand up for a new challenge.
It's pretty demanding. You have to be able to carry things to the fire ground on foot, so there's a physical activity level that's pretty high, but it's highly rewarding. You work in Tasmania's pristine wilderness.
I'm hopeful that we have a big contingency of backup for the full-time fireys to help them out, obviously, for these larger fires.
The Tasmania Fire Service currently has around 5,000 volunteer firefighters. It's probably the only music festival you can attend in the current climate, and it's completely online. Hobart teenager Elliot Law has recreated a lifelike multi-stage setup in the video game Minecraft, which will feature an all-Tasmanian lineup.
This is what happens when the worlds of music and Minecraft collide.
HasFest is a virtual Minecraft music festival hosted on the Bedrock version of Minecraft.
Lighting, food vans, refreshments, and an out-of-this-world stage design. 17-year-old Elliot Law and a team of friends built the festival grounds over 3 painstaking months.
It's really accessible because you don't have to get in the car and drive and spend hours in a queue getting into the festival grounds. You don't have to put up a tent.
Just log on and within minutes, you can be front stage to an all-Tasmanian lineup.
Because it is a virtual Minecraft music festival, a lot of the music is a lot more electronic focused.
A grant from the Hobart Council giving the event the building blocks to support an arts industry decimated by coronavirus.
Exposure and financial support, as well as another gig to look forward to, because everyone's been extremely bored.
The virtual festival gates are locked for now, but come this weekend, hundreds of players will be exploring this world, immersing themselves in the unique online experience. As uncertainty grows about when live music will return in the flesh, for now this could be the next best thing.
We're really hoping to do this again in the future.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Social distancing has cancelled plenty of events this year, but here's one it hopefully won't claim. The Edge Abseil has been a favourite among fearless fundraisers for the past 8 years. Up to 60 thrill seekers will brave 60 metres at Rest Point Casino in September, all in the name of medical research.
There are so many conditions, whether they're conditions of cancer, such as prostate cancer most particularly, cardiovascular disease, so by that I mean high blood pressure, stroke or even heart attack.
It's hoped the challenge on Father's Day will raise upwards of $60,000. Tasmanian rugby players are preparing to pull on the studs again after the season was sidelined for 3 months. Taroona will do battle with University, who have almost doubled their player numbers during the COVID lockdown. Both sides will compete for a memorial shield honouring a late stalwart of the game, Greg Sawyer.
Yeah, the first game, the Greg Sawyer Shield. It's really exciting. Greg was a great man for Tasmanian rugby.
It's pretty exciting to be back. I'm ready to go and all our players are ready to go as well.
The 6-team competition will kick off this weekend. Well, Derwent believes its players are beginning to find their rhythm in this year's Premier League hockey campaign. After 2 losses to start the season, the side now sits at 3rd after a crushing 3-0 win over Diamondbacks.
We're just really focusing on us and building momentum after each game and focusing on working as a team.
They would take on the unbeaten OHA this weekend, which scored 2 early goals in victory over University.
Fine and sunny over the north today, along with the east, but a few showers over the west and south. Hobart and Launceston 14 degrees, Burnie and Devonport 15. St Helens warmed up to 17, which was 3 above average. Friendly Beaches 15 today, King Island and Ouse 14. Flinders Island, Low Head and Grove 13. Strawn 12, Lyoweeney a top of 7. We had mid to low level cloud over the west and south of the state. Cloud over central areas cleared this afternoon. Low-level cloud over Victoria as well and into South Australia. Higher level cloud drifts over central parts of the country and southwest WA. Tomorrow the high meanders eastwards. A cold front crosses western WA while troughs sit over Queensland. The winds west-southwesterly at 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the south and lower east. Winds up to 10 to 15 knots inland. A strong wind warning from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point for tomorrow. And for tomorrow in Hobart, 14 degrees. A late shower moving in, a shower or 2 for Geeveston, 12 the high and 9 for Bothwell. Launceston, a high of 14, morning frost and partly cloudy, 14 also for Devonport, Cressy the same number. For Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy and 14 degrees. A few showers for Strawn on 12 and Curry on King Island 13 degrees. While 16 the top for St Helens, sunny there. Sunny for Swansea too, bit of cloud about though, 14, 13 the top for Orford. Thursday now and showers over the west and far south, fine and partly cloudy for the rest of the state. Showers for the west and north on Friday, fine the remainder, and on Saturday fine after morning frost patches, apart from a shower again over the west and northwest, easing in the evening. Sunny ahead of a late shower in Perth, 14 and cloudy in Adelaide, a light shower over Melbourne. Frost and fog starts Canberra's day, sunny in Sydney and a possible shower in Brisbane. And mainly fine over the state at the moment with all temperatures under 10 degrees. And Kim, that is a guaranteed forecast for tomorrow, unlike where AFL teams are going to be playing in the near future.
How true. Watch this space. No doubt we'll have more tomorrow night for you. That's your news for tonight. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.